Last year we saw a shift in the natural order of things, especially within the development world. Let me explain. When I started my career, we were all programmers. Then the web appeared and we became developers. Backend, frontend, full stack, you name it. Now, with the advent of AI, we'll just be operators of the matrix? And now, about this. Right, so when I started my career, the people I knew in technology were mainly programmers. They would develop applications or systems, which was a complex and tedious task. It could take months or even years just to build something useful that actually worked. These could be operating systems, and I was a Fedora maintainer back in the days, or very hardcore applications like the OpenOffice.org that I was responsible for building for the Portuguese market. It required people to know how to code, how operating systems worked in detail, and how applications would work with multiple operating systems, window managers, and how different libraries would interoperate with each other. It was really tedious, at least for me, and I really admire people who still do it. Then, in the early 2000s, the web appeared, and everyone shifted to being a developer, software engineer, web guru, or usability expert. You get my drift here. It was the perfect spot for frustrated programmers like me to shift to a brand new world where the interface was the browser. Back then, I thought it would be simpler to develop for just a browser. Then another one appeared, and we decided that we needed to build proper user interfaces for the web and repeat the same mistakes as programmers. But one thing really changed. We gained a broader vision of how things would work, from systems and stacks to interfaces and how we would work together, especially with other people within the team. We got a holistic view of the development process and life cycle, which was quite good for a lot of people. The mobile world then became bigger than the web, and developers had to be more like programmers again, learning how to develop for different operating systems. I still remember how hard it was to program against Java ME Mobile Edition and its various versions on old Nokias and Samsungs back in 2006, while developing mobile-ready websites. But the manufacturers improved the way people build applications, and everyone decided that it would be good to merge the two worlds and find some frameworks that could work on both platforms. And that was what saved us all. So, one of the major differences between developers and programmers is job duties. The job duty of the programmer is to just write code. The main job duty of the programmer is to create new code and then test it, solve glitches, and reduce the risk of errors in the code. On the other hand, the job duty of the developer is almost the same, but they need to analyze user requirements and develop code that fulfills those requirements. The latter plays an in-charge role that is responsible for the entire development phase of the software application and delivers it to the end user. And now it's 2023, and the previous years we became something we were before being programmers, operators. Previously, operators monitor and control, respond to, enter commands, and set controls on computers and peripheral devices. That's because AI, and specifically OpenAI, brought it back with a very peculiar way. With the new AI capabilities, we can develop and program less, while focusing more on typing and entering commands for the system to produce something, especially code. This immediately reminds me of the old punching cards, which fortunately I'm not old enough to have used, but my dad did, and he still has boxes of those cards around. AI closes the circle. Funny enough, as we created a system for AI to operate, to develop applications and algorithms, and now it's open to everyone else to operate. Bottom line, I think that 2023 will be the key year for a lot of software operators to emerge, people whose sole purpose and career will be around AI. Prompt engineers is already a thing, and I've seen some LinkedIn job ads and roles being published. And I've lived long enough to see full circles in technology, and this is one more that is closing. The way people create applications, code, and deploy them. It started with the very laborious task of understanding how things worked and collaborating with others, to full frameworks and automation, so that we can now just interact with the prompt where AI creates things for us. My issue is how critical and knowledgeable we are about the output AI creates for us. This all reminds me of my favorite Calvin and Hobbes comic strip, the last one from Bill Watterson, which says, "It's a magical world, Hobbes, old buddy. Let's go exploring." Happy New Year!